Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to, Aaron, episode 200 of The Grid.
200.
Woo!
200.
200.
100.
That, okay, so I guess probably we should say off the top before we get into this, everybody. A, yes, we haven't been around for a couple weeks. There are reasons. We'll talk about them. B, yes, this is episode 200. C, woo! Aaron, woo, have we planned anything? Did we have this recording even planned before a couple hours ago?
Nope.
No, we did not.
I was still late to it.
Well, to be fair, you were looking for deodorant, and that's body upkeep is important, yes. Right? Here on the show.
If anything, I am consistent.
That's true. Yes, definitely. Consistency is your brand here on the podcast. You know what you're getting when you get Aaron in front of a mic.
Inconsistency is my consistency, and if you look over, you can't see this, but over my left shoulder is a
lower half of a mannequin.
Lower half of a mannequin who is full
very bulgy. It's
a very large bulge. Yes, it's distracting.
If I were to ask you why you have that, how long would it take for you to explain that?
Not very long. You already know. You've seen I have the Master Chief armor that I put on it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right.
The reason it is where it is right now is some news that I have, and if we want to just jump into these
Please.
things that we want to talk about. So I am looking at buying a house in New Jersey. That is because I cannot live where I currently live anymore because they fucking suck here. And
it is an army base, Air Force, or is it Army?
No, it's an Army base. So it's the worst of the best of the best. And yeah, it's not the best situation for me. So I've had to make some decisions, and so there's the decision of needing to move, of house hunting, and then of preparing for that transition to a new home. So that's led from searching for homes to now trying to sell personal collection stuff to cover things like closing costs and moving fees and all that jazz. So that's kind of been my life for the last several weeks is selling things that do not bring me joy, as they say, anymore, in order to take this next step into something that is going to make me feel much more joy and much more comfortable in my own life.
Mm-hmm. They always say collectibles are the first thing to go when big life events happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think every time I've moved, I've sold a comic. You know what I mean? I very vividly remember when I moved from Indianapolis to St. Louis back in 2017, I sold, and I think I've told the story on the show before, I sold Fantastic Four number 48, and I sold my Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, which is the first appearance of Spider-Gwen. It was the 1 in 50 variant, both of which are a lot more expensive than I sold them for back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's totally one of those things, like you said, where you find an investment or find an attachment to things at a certain time in your life, and then eventually you either move on or they don't mean as much to you. I actually had a similar thing happen, not to deviate too much from the many things we have to talk about because we haven't recorded in a couple of weeks, but I recently sold a lithograph that I got when I met Stan Lee. It was a Humberto Ramos sort of homage, 65th anniversary of Spider-Man, and had Humberto Ramos, he basically designed and drew, let's say 20 or so Spider-Man suits, right? And it was just something that they gave when you met Stan Lee. This was at Cincinnati Comic-Con in 2017. So you could bring a personal item, you get a picture, they would give you this lithograph, probably the thing they just had overstock of, right? Not anything special. And then you would just bring that up to him. He would sign the lithograph, and then you would sign the thing that you brought. I brought, of course, the Fantastic Four annual number 2, first origin of Dr. Doom. That's behind me still. And then that lithograph. And as we've talked about many times here on the show, the treatment of Stan Lee in his later years really freaks me out now, and it really makes me feel gross about that whole exchange that I had no idea at the time. Yeah. Zero clue. It was one of my first cons in general, that Cincinnati Comic-Con. I would say it's one of the first 3 that I ever went to. I stood in line at CGC for 4 hours for that Stan Lee book behind me. I would never do that today, but these are the things you learn as you go to cons and such. And as time has gone on, we've learned more about what Stan had to go through in his later years and how they just fucking exhausted him to the brink of death, which is what eventually happened. Of course, he was like 96, I want to say. So I eventually got rid of it recently, mostly A, because of bills, right? Bills happen. But B, I felt odd having it still. And I wasn't as attached to it as I was the Dr. Doom book behind me. So just, again, that's my word salad way of saying I agree. I understand what you're saying and I get it. You know, you and I think have been on the record saying like, we're not someone to like go out and purchase a thing at a con or do a thing to eventually just flip it, scalp it, whatever. But like life happens. And like, we'll never, ever say that you shouldn't take care of yourself first. Right.
And I think that's the difference. Like, yeah, because I think it used to be about when we were younger, when we would collect these things, when we would buy some of these things, I was like, oh, I got to have that. I got to have that. I got to have that. Ooh, that's cool. I got to have that. And now it's more of like, you know, I like this and it's cool, but I don't need to keep it anymore. It's not pivotal. It's not like a central thing that like binds my collection together. And so I think that like for me, for instance, I'm not the biggest Charizard fan. You know, I think Charizard's cool.
Yeah.
I had like 2 PSA 10, like, you know, Charizards that I got at a really good below fair market value at a couple of auctions. And so I took those to a couple of shows, like, you know, like Pokemon shows, and I sold them and I made a couple, you know, probably almost $2,000 from one show just of selling some stuff. And so I was like, great, you know, that's money that's going to help me pay down either bills or pay on this, you know, closing costs. And so that's what I'm doing right now is I got stuff up on eBay. I got stuff up on the apps that I use because, you know what, it's just like I've realized that these are not things that necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things to me. Like I'd much rather work towards owning the things that are very special to me. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm selling that. I'm trying to sell that Superman book that I have that's like signed by 6 different Superman. So that's up on my eBay. There is one that is, I want to say it's the Steve Ditko variant of the Amazing Spider-Man, because again, like I don't have much like the Charizard. I don't have a huge connection to Spider-Man. I think he's a great character. I have other comics that I am very much more in love with that I absolutely would never sell. They're definitely not. And you know me, Chris, like I don't care about the value of these things. Like I know that they're going to sell, they're valuable, but to me, valuable. It's not. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh fuck, I didn't make. I'm not going to be upset because I didn't make whatever off of it. You know what I mean? Same. So it's just like right now I'm like, this is not something that brings me joy. This is not something that I am connected to. There's no connective tissue to me or my life of this particular object. Let me go ahead and get, you know, just whittle down my collection. You know, it's at some point in the future, I'll get something that's a little bit nicer to me, which I did, you know, I did today. I went and I sought out all the Whatnot She-Hulk cards that I didn't have in my collection, which are, again, a very inexpensive thing to collect. And I, you know, made a few offers. I made a few bundles and I'm excited. So,
yeah. A couple things. Number one, since the last time we talked, I got that gold Charizard back. And unfortunately, everybody, because we may have talked about it before, but I opened up a recent Pokemon Ascending Heroes ETB Elite Trainer box. And the first pack I pulled, I got the rarest card of that set at that time, which was a Mega Charizard Y Gold. They make these gold plated cards, not really gold, I don't think, but like, you know, they're everything on it is gold. There's no other color besides that, which is really cool. They're really hard to sell in like real life. A lot of like vendors and people who on the aftermarket don't want to buy them because it's like a very specific type of person who's collecting these gold cards. You, me, whoever. Again, same as you, not a giant Charizard fan. I like him enough, right? I'm an original 151 guy myself, Kanto all the way. But Charizard to me, for multiple reasons, this is not one of my favorites. And as soon as I got the card back, I got it back maybe 2 weeks ago. Came back as a 9, everybody. And just to put a little context behind that, a 9 sells for, you know, maybe $800, $900, $1,000 if you're lucky. A 10, a perfect grade for PSA, who I had it graded by, would have sold for like $6,000, which is very infuriating. And I learned after the fact, spoilers, I sold the card, but I learned from the card shop that I sold it to that those gold cards very rarely, if ever, there's like a 12%, I think you said 12 or 14, a very low percentage of those cards come back as a 10, which is why they're so valuable. I mean, outside of the fact that they're also generally the most valuable card in that particular set. So I ended up selling it. I got $900. Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And then there was something else I wanted to add to that. I guess just to build off what you said there, is that these are things, right? At the end of the day, we are collectors, Aaron and I think most people listening to this right now are collectors. But I think, again, when rubber meets the road and when life happens, you need to take care of yourself. And again, the things are usually the first things to go, as you know, as they say. So I want to move on to a couple things, Aaron, because a lot of stuff has happened in the last couple of weeks. I think it's been 3 weeks since we've recorded, possibly 199. Number one, good friend of the show and a person that Aaron and I admire greatly. Good, not just a good friend of the show. We say that as sort of in jest because they've appeared on the podcast, but generally this person is a friend of ours. Christian Ward, 3-time Eisner winner in the comic book world. He and I were chatting a couple weeks ago, and I had mentioned offhandedly that because of PTO and because of things that were happening in the world, or and treatment and whatnot, that San Diego is not going to happen this year. San Diego Comic-Con is something that I've been to every year since 2019. It's my favorite con, as I've said many times. It's my opinion that one of the best shows in general. Wasn't going to happen. And at the very end of that conversation, without me even prompting it, Christian mentioned that he and another good friend of ours, Brad Gullickson of the Comic Book Couples Counseling, were already planning to do a GoFundMe, which is something I would never even consider doing myself. And something that I felt even gross hearing my friend Christian talk about. And Aaron, I've even told you that like this is you sort of offhandedly mentioned doing something like this, like you were going to plan it. I was like, no, I don't want this. I don't want to use this ordeal as an excuse for anything, really. I mean, like, of course, I will play the cancer card if it gets me a parking spot or like a 10% discount on a really expensive ticket of some sort. But I'm not going to use it as a crutch for anything. But Christian, and the way that he explained it, and, the fact that he and Brad went to the effort to plan the whole thing already, I was like, you know what? Do your thing. If I get a couple $100 and like it goes towards bills or, whatever. Here, Aaron, let me tell you this, and I'll let you talk in a moment. I apologize. I'm talking so much in this episode.
Oh, you're good, man. Do it.
When he first presented the idea, I didn't really care about the money. I was like, I just hope it doesn't fail, because the original goal was $2,000, right? That's $2,000 is way too much money. That's never going to happen. But like, my worry was that like they present this thing, they put it up online, they start promoting it, because there's nothing worse than like promoting something and it failing, right? I've had that happen many a times on podcast and in real life and what have you. I know you have as well, Aaron. And it's a defeating feeling, and I didn't want them to feel defeated that like they couldn't do this for me. So like that was my biggest worry. It wasn't like not going to San Diego. I'd already accepted, Aaron, and I think we maybe even talked about this here on the grid, is that like I've just accepted that like I'm not going to be able to do the podcast this year. I'm not going to be able to do San Diego, New York. There are just things that I'm not going to be able to do this year because all of my PTO and all of my energy is going to go towards beating this thing, which hopefully happens tomorrow, starting tomorrow for my surgery. We're recording this on Thursday. As it
should, by the way, like that's right where your energy should be.
Yeah. We're recording this on Thursday, May 21st, and my surgery, this major laparoscopic surgery that I'm going to be having, will be happening this time around, or I should be actually waking up around this time tomorrow, as you're listening to this, hopefully. So anyway, Christian and Brad set this thing up. And Aaron, when I tell you that in the first 2 hours that this thing is up, it has tripled what the goal was. I mean, again, it was $2,000 starting out. I think it was $6,100 in its first day, which is stupid. Like, I felt very loved in that moment. And there were many friends of ours, comic creators, even people I've never even met. Phil Hester, one of like the all-time great artists, donated this thing. Felix from Felix Comic Art donated to it. Danny Earls.
And he's facing cancer himself.
No, sorry. Felix's wife actually passed away from colon cancer. He and I have talked about it, which is why he's so attached to it. And he actually, when you go to Felix Comic Art's booth, the artist will sometimes offer things for free. I think of like Daniel Warren Johnson used to offer those zines, of like the last, there's like a
old man Luke and
old man Luke, and there's a green. Oh gosh, what's Luke Skywalker's call sign in Star Wars? It's Red One. Okay, he made a zine about the green team, whatever. Point being is that like he made all these really cool zines, and like what would happen is if you got one, he would give it to you for free, but he'd be like, hey, would you want to donate to Felix's colon research? He named it, and I apologize, I'm spacing his wife's late wife's name, but like it was donated and named in her honor.
Mm-hmm.
So he donated. Gosh, I can't even, like, Brad's dad, who I've never met, our good friend Kenny over from Sweet Shop donated. A lot of people listening to this probably donated.
Yeah. Brian K. Vaughan fucking donated, man.
Oh my God. Yeah. Brian K. Vaughan. Like, that blew me the fuck away. That my favorite comic creator ever, like not just like artist, writer, whoever, Brian K. Vaughan, favorite creator, which Aaron, sidebar, we're on the last season of Lost, and we're excited. We're getting down to it. We just watched episode 1 of season 5 last night. So anyway, just blown away by everything. Right. And obviously San Diego is happening now. So applause to everybody, for everybody who contributed. Round of applause. Yes.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that.
Yep. And hotel has been booked. Aaron hopefully will be joining me. Flight has been booked. We got our ticket thing set up. It's really, really humbling and really, really special. I will say that, like, so many people who I either have, like, there are some people who I expected. There are some people who I just was blown away by. All of it means so much to me. And the fact that anyone would, and especially in today's climate where we're at right now, politically, everything here in the US specifically, Mac, I don't know how things are going in New Zealand, but here in America, things are on fire. And they have been for the last year and a half. And
dumpster fire over here.
Totally. Yeah. It went from being on fire to being a dumpster fire. Like, they just threw a bunch of dumpster trash on top of the fire pre 2025. The fact that people would, like, give up their money, any amount of money, to let some nerd go to San Diego Comic-Con just is incredible. So I don't even know. I haven't really gathered my thoughts on it completely, and I eventually will put out some kind of video on social media really encompassing and overviewing this whole thing. But it was just really special, and I think everyone who is listening to this, who donated, I plan on releasing this to everybody because this is episode 200. So if you're listening to this and you donated, thank you so much. You mean so much to me.
And even if you didn't and just shared it,
totally.
Even if you commented, shared, liked, whatever, that helped with reach and helped accomplish this mission. Because, and I think, it's a weird situation for me because, like, I was like, man, I thought about it. I was like, man, this is my best friend. Like, why didn't I do it? But, like, inside, I know also, like, to me, this is not something that you would ever want.
We've talked about it. Like, you mentioned in passing, and I was like, no, I don't want this.
Yeah. And so for me, like, I was like, okay, I guess I just, but, I'm super glad. And I think the biggest thing, the next thing is just finding you a ticket into the show.
Well, we have one. Shout out to our friend Greg Katzman over at IDW. He has officially secured a ticket for myself. So that's awesome. And again, that's thanks to Christian. Christian's the one who reached. I wasn't going to ask Greg for that. And Greg not only offered a ticket, but he's buying us dinner that night as well. So Christian and I, which I assume if you're going to be there, you will obviously be there as well. So,
I mean, I've already got permission to go. As long as I can afford it. You've been
blessed by the Carly to.
I've been blessed. Yeah. I guess really next is just like if I can get a ticket in. And
you got a hotel. You got a hotel, and we can find you a ticket. So like, that's no big deal.
We'll see about. Well, I mean, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have the same je ne sais quoi or impact in the comic community, but hopefully,
whatever. Like we are one of two. Each of us. Like, they think of the Oblivion Bar, they don't think of me. They think of us.
We're here to interview as a team.
The tuxedos seem kind of fucked up now.
Yeah. Oh. Is that peanut butter and bacon? So yeah, no, I'm good to go. I'm suddenly like that's another reason. Like I'm totally fine with like selling some things also and squirreling away some cash for a trip out there as well, is because this will be really, and I'm honestly quite shocked because I've been yelling at you about this for years, that you've needed to go to one of these conventions that you love and not fucking work.
I've worked at every single San Diego Comic-Con I've gone to.
Every fucking, and you get no time to do anything. And I've, you know, I've worked, I've ran around, I've done all these things, but I've gotten the opportunity, which is so crazy because this is absolutely your world versus mine. I mean, it's mine now because I've you know, become a part of it, but this was your world. And I feel like I've been more of a tourist in it than you have the entire time. So thank God it's finally your opportunity. And so, yeah, let's fucking rock this thing, dude. Let's have a great time. Let's go say hi to some people. Let's go do the damn thing and finally get you an opportunity to enjoy the fuck out of this stuff. And I'm sure somebody's going to ask you a favor to work something, to do something, and you're going to say yes. I'll smack you on the butt and say bad boy.
I told the set I would do a couple shows. If she wanted me to do like 2 or 3 shows.
I fucking knew it. I'm clapping at you. God damn it.
You know what? If Scott Snyder wants to sit down and chat for 30 minutes and I sell some things, you know what? And if that gets me like a little, you know, like an exclusive or whatever, then I'll do it. Because the thing is, like, as I've said many times, I love doing these things with CSA. I just don't love doing them all day, every day for 4 days straight in the actual convention. So like, if I can have my cake and eat it too, I'll definitely do that. But
again, we just need, you know, you and me, man, we actually, you know what? We should talk about this on the side. We should make this a business for us. Like we just do the shows because I have the live streaming knowledge. You have the again, that je ne sais quoi, that certain joie de vie, you know, you have the thing that people love, and you know, I can make it look good.
I got that big dick energy, I think as they call it.
You got main character energy and the big dick energy. I've got the big flaccid energy.
Yes, right. You're not afraid to helicopter in front of a group of people, whereas I'm afraid to do that, but I'm packing heat.
I rode my bike home from dropping off a U-Haul truck this morning. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. I was riding my bike home. I got home, I got off my e-bike, and I'm like, oh shit, I knew I felt a breeze, and my fucking fly was down the entire time.
People are just like jaws open looking at you as you pass by.
Yeah, like I just, like, you know, people next to me in the car like, what is that? Oh,
it's Godzilla. All right, so Aaron, like I said, we have many things. I apologize for going down that quick rabbit hole but you know, this happened while we were away, and I just wanted to highlight that and you know, again, thank everybody for making that happen. So I guess for the remainder of the time here, do you want to go back and forth on things that, like, you said you had some things you want to cover. I obviously have some things I want to cover. There are a lot of things that, like, trailers, movies, television series, things that have come out, news even. Do you want to kick us off? Is there a thing that you want to talk about real quick?
I'm trying to think. Yeah. So like for me, it's been, some interesting news is, I don't know if I told you this, but back several months ago, when I worked for Fanable and then I stopped working for them, I was not allowed. They had changed their terms of service, and they had made it so that I was not allowed to buy any of their products, like any of their kiosks or any, like I was able to buy from the marketplace. I was able to submit books to store there. And recently I reached out to them like, hey, is there any change? Is there any update? And they're like, you know what? It's been long enough. You're in. And so I started, I'm good. So now
back on the wagon, everybody.
I'm back on the wagon, or I fell off the wagon, one of the two.
Yeah. Whichever one of those works.
Huh?
I said, whichever one of those works.
Whichever one is the wrong thing, that's where I am. But I'll say this.
Also, real quick, do you want to explain what Fanable is to people who,
so Fanable is like Courtyard. It's like these, it's become
Club.
such a huh?
Arena Club is another option.
Arena is, Collector does it as well. It's this new trend of, obviously, like, you open virtual packs and you get like graded cards. Some places are now doing non-graded cards. Some, Fanable started off doing comics. Courtyard was doing Pokemon cards, then added comics, and it's kind of been, I think that the comics thing is kind of like it's not where people want to be. They want to do the cards, and so that's kind of where everybody is refocusing. Well, anyways, my point is that I pulled some really cool cards recently on Fanable, one being the Chinese Captain Pikachu full art with a pristine CGC Pristine 10.
Oh.
Currently market value is like $750 to $800. So I pulled one of those. I was thinking about keeping it, but I'm like, again, don't feel an attachment to it. So I sold it, I also
sold the Captain Pikachu? Sorry, I was looking at the card. What the heck? So this is actually from the Gem series, which is the same. I think I told you yesterday. there's a Chinese Cubone card that's from that same set that I really want at some point.
That's what it struck in my head when we had the conversation. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I want to sell. I was like really up in the air, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I kind of want the money more than that specific card. Because the card that I did want, one of the cards I did want, is way cheaper than that. So like my current, I'm just gonna say my current quote unquote grail that I'm looking for as far as Pokemon cards is the Legendary Birds Stained Glass, which was an Elite Trainer box, I guess exclusive like promo. Which okay, Chris, I have a confession to make.
Okay,
and I may lose my Pokemon nerd card here. I might. This entire time that, and I don't know when these started, but this entire time that I've been playing Pokemon, I never knew that Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes have their own special promos.
This is a new development because I didn't know that until I got back in as well. So
Okay.
I don't think that was a thing back in the day.
Yeah. Okay. So this is something new that I've learned. I had no idea it was a thing. Awesome. Great. But that's apparently where this card came from. I love stained glass windows. So this is one that like is so cool. So I'm like currently shopping around. And that's one of the reasons I sold that card was because I wanted to make sure that I could afford a good copy of the one that I really wanted and then have a little bit left over because there's definitely nowhere near the same value. However,
I'm seeing 170 for a raw copy, which is not terrible.
Yeah. I think I want it graded though. I think I'm going to get it graded. I've made the decision, like if I'm buying something for myself that I want and love, I don't care if it's a 9, I'll pay like for an 8 or 9. The other thing was, the other card that I pulled. So there was the Van Gogh Pikachu, which we know is going insane right now.
That's one that I really want to add at some point.
There was another one that was released with it, and it was, I want to say it's based off. So Van Gogh, obviously Pikachu is based off of Van Gogh's
self-portrait. Yeah,
his self-portrait. There is and I want to say it's, oh my god, it's not Picasso. It is, who does the Scream? Oh god, I had so there's the Scream, which is the same, huh? Well, it's a Psyduck, but it's by the same guy who does like the clocks that are like melting.
Edvard Munch.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person.
Artist Edvard Munch in 1893 called The Shriek. It was called The Shriek, aka the Scream.
Yeah, The Shriek. I pulled The Shriek, the Scream,
Psyduck one?
The Psyduck one. So I immediately redeem that one. So that one is on its way to me right now, because I was like, there's no way in hell that I'm not keeping that one. But I also still could eventually sell that one if I feel like it, because it's only PSA 9 or CGC. It's either PSA 9, I think it's PSA 9 or CGC 9. It's a 9, which is not perfect, but at the same time it's valuable. It's got a good price tag to it. So if I wanted to sell it, I got some more money coming my way. So yeah, like I'm kind of back in the game.
I was gonna say, speaking of Van Gogh, those cards, there were three images they released whenever, for everyone who doesn't know, the Van Gogh Museum, released some Pokemon exclusive items whenever they brought Pokemon to the Van Gogh Museum in France. One was the Van Gogh Pikachu self-portrait where he's wearing the hat. The other is a Sunflora, which is based off the sunflowers piece that Van Gogh worked on, which was basically his entryway into his more heavier paint. If you've looked at Van Gogh's sort of body of work, it changes dramatically around the time that he started that sunflower image, where it becomes a lot more psychedelic. It's where he starts to sort of lose his mind a little bit. Lead poisoning, syphilis, there's a lot of things happening. He was in love with his cousin who was a prostitute. Yeah. Learn the history of Van Gogh is the point. And then there's a
it's not all Doctor Who crying and wonder.
Right. He had some things and stuff happening, right? We all have problems, but Van Gogh was going through some stuff. And then there's also and I thought this one might be your favorite, is actually a Snorlax, and it's the Snorlax's baby version. Munchlax, thank you. It's them. There's a famous Van Gogh piece where it's a portrait of his room that he was staying at the time. It's actually, speaking of that Doctor Who episode, it's the room or the house that he's staying in whenever Amy and the Doctor meet him. But the images of Snorlax on the bed almost falling off, and then you've got Munchlax in the chair that's in the corner of the room. I don't know if you've seen that one, Aaron, but they made that into a playmat at the time. It wasn't a card, but and the same with the Sunflora. Sunflora wasn't a card; it was a print that they released at the museum. So, point being is that like the reason why the card is so expensive is because it's a card, right? It's a collectible. So,
yeah.
So yeah, that's cool, and I really want all of those. I want the print, and actually, I went to a card shop recently, our card show. And they had the Sunflora print. I almost got it, but they wanted $140 for it. I was like,
was it the Van Gogh? I don't know. I don't remember if it was the Van Gogh or if it was. I think it might have been the Van Gogh. I think I saw it was raw for $9.50 at a show that I went to, which I thought about it. But to be honest, the promo that I really fucking want is the Pokemon the stamp, the Japanese stamp one. It's like the lady. She's like in a red dress. No, you haven't seen that one. That one is insane. It was only a it's.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, it's like I want to say it's a Chinese woman or maybe
Japanese.
Japanese, excuse me, sorry. And she has Pikachu on her back. I don't know who the artist is. But yeah, that's cool. No, I'm looking at it right now. That's awesome. All right. So you've been selling / acquiring more collectibles. That's what I'm picking up from that statement there.
Pretty much.
I guess my quick update for Pokemon is that I've still continued to play. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still loving it. I actually just recently, as I sold that Charizard card, I bought the new set that just came out, which is Chaos Rising. And there's a Greninja card that I really want because everyone knows, I don't think I've talked about Greninja as one of my favorites. Very close to Empoleon. Empoleon's my all-time favorite starter, but Greninja's up there, maybe a close second, I would say. So, and I'm really loving the game still. Actually, Aaron, the Pokemon Center recently released a TCG Cerulean City Porygon backpack, which is very, very high quality. It was only $35, which is stupid because this backpack is incredible. Really well made, as most things are for the Pokemon Center. So, yeah. To move on, though, I will say from Pokemon, I'm in my hacking era, Aaron.
You are.
I'm living up to my last
Hacker
name.
man.
Yes. So as many people know, we talked about it a couple months ago. I recently converted all of our media into a Jellyfin NAS server, which I have next to me. Aaron, I don't even know if you can hear it. Kind of sounds like it just will boot randomly, and it kind of sounds like a fish tank sometimes, you know?
What? Like what? Like
yeah, kind of like it sounds like that. Has a couple HHDs in it, and Olivia and I now don't need any streaming services because we have our NAS server. And as I often do, Aaron, I've discovered the mini Nintendo SNES, and I was like, this is cool. I wonder if I could put more games on this. And I quickly realized that there's not a ton of internal hard drive. So I was like, what's the next best thing? Oh, I know. I'll buy a mini PC and I'll emulate it. And now
Raspberry Pi.
Well, that's one option. I use RetroBat, which is a separate emulator OS, where basically I have a 2 terabyte hard drive on top of a mini PC. I bought some external. They look kind of like Switch controllers, like the Switch Pro controllers. And now we have every system from the Atari 2600 up into the PS2, and every game that has come on all of those systems.
PS2, huh? Do you have frequency?
I don't know. What's frequency?
You don't. Frequency was one of the first rhythm-based games.
Okay.
It is incredible. I highly recommend you find it. Do you like rhythm-based games?
Are we talking like a Beat Saber or a Guitar Hero?
Yeah, kind of like Guitar Hero, but with a controller, no guitar.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think I'm actually trying to figure out how to get Guitar Hero on this, because you can actually get up to Wii U on this RetroBat, but I'm not sure how it works with like the sensor and some of the controls. Like the Nintendo Switch Pro controller is pretty versatile for most systems, but it doesn't work well with like, say, the GameCube or the Nintendo 64, because you had like that dongle on the left side for the Nintendo 64. The GameCube had a weird sort of triad of buttons, and it had 2 toggles, and you guys can't see that. Aaron, I'm like trying to showcase Aaron. He's
moving his thumbs like he's fucking going down on a porn star over here.
So that's like one of the true deficiencies. But there's this really cool company called 2-Bit. I want to say it's 24-bit. 8-bit. Thank you. Yes,
8-bit. Yeah, they have amazing fucking like what do you call it? I guess not merchandise.
Retro controllers. That's what
controllers. Yeah,
peripherals. Got, like,
peripherals.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. Because they have like dongles and stuff that you can use for your older systems as well. Like there's a dongle that you can grab. It's a wireless adapter for like a normal SNES, and you can buy their SNES really high quality new controller and play it on your old SNES along with every other system that you've probably have.
I know that Nintendo actually, even for the Switch, released Sega Genesis controllers.
Mm-hmm.
They
SNES,
released SNES, NES, and then they even had a Nintendo 64 for the Switch.
Yeah.
So, and you can buy USB versions of those anywhere, like Amazon for sure.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I'm so on board with 8-bit, because again, it's the quality, and like we got 2 controllers, and I've mapped them for every system, and I've changed the shaders. Anyway, I deep dived into that for 2 weeks. I got it figured out. Now we have 6,800 games. When are we going to play them?
Chris,
right?
Typical Chris finds something and does not stop until he is 100%, like just like Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, I master it and then I move on. And then also, speaking of, and I'll let you go on to your next topic here, Aaron, after this, but now I'm doing it with an iPod because as you know, most things, and like I feel like capitalism has completely seeped itself into every category of entertainment in our lives. Movies, television, music, video games. There's a subscription for everything, and it's fucking bumming me out. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna vote with my wallet, and I'm gonna go backwards, forwards and backwards at the same time. It's kind of odd because I'm buying old hardware and I'm upgrading it to today's standards, and I'm hacking it, quote unquote, with new software. And, you know, this is a new phenomenon that's been happening because Spotify sucks. They're running ads for ICE. The UI is terrible. The shuffle does not work because it's all based on an algorithm. So they're playing the same fucking Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift songs that you don't even have on your playlist. Nothing against Sabrina or Taylor. I like both those artists, but like point being is that like, if I want to work out, I don't want to hear espresso is my point. Right. So what I've done is, my first route was going to buy like just a normal MP3 player and put a bunch of songs on it. And then I realized that like the modding community for the iPod has grown intensely over the last like 2 or 3 years because of this exact thing that we're talking about. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, they're getting out of hand, folks. We let the billionaires get too much control and therefore they're overcharging us. So I looked on eBay and I was like, oh, an iPod can't cost anything nowadays. Why would anybody even want an iPod? Turns out there's a lot of people who want a fucking iPod and they're like $300 now. So I went to my parents' house, who recently just came home from Florida. They're snowbirds. And I asked my mom, I was like, hey, just out of curiosity, because she had one back in the day. I remember her having one very vividly. It's like, do you have any of your old iPods from back in the day, like just sitting around? Yeah. Funny enough, she has the one, which is the iPod 5.5 generation. It's called the iPod Video for everyone who is curious. She has that laying around. Hasn't touched it in 10 years.
Chris, are you going to get a flip phone?
That might be next. I was actually looking at Normal. Have you heard of the company Normal?
Is that the one that's just like almost like it uses like e-ink for the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at those this morning. So
there is a like, it looks like a Game Boy and it has like a crank.
Yes.
To energize it. If you looked at that too,
I looked at it. Yeah, I looked at it. They have really
I already know your brand. I've honed in on your brand now. You are
They have really awesome headphones too. Like really cool industrial, and like they're all design based, but anyway, I grabbed this iPod and I bought a new screen, I've bought a new outer shell, I bought a new iFlash adapter so you can take out the HHD that's inside the iPod. You can put a 256 gigabyte SD card into it, and now it has triple the memory and it's more powerful and quicker than it used to be. Nice. You can upload Rockbox onto it, and then you have a brand new UI that's modernized, and it essentially you can like make it look any way you want. Anyway, all of this, I'm gathering all of it right now. I've got most of the material now. No soldering required. You just got to get that. You got to crack that baby open, and then you should
just start this as a business, man.
I want to. As soon as I can actually crack this thing and do it myself and see what the process looks like, if it ends up being lucrative and pretty easy for me, I'm going to try to open up like an Etsy shop or something and then do it for people and charge them. You know, I've looked online, people are charging like $200 because people don't want to get into these things. They just want the thing.
People don't. People do not want to spend the time to deep dive. And if you've already done it, it's the same thing with me. Like I am I've modded my own game systems. So this is probably not something too far off of what I could do. You know, I've got my own modded Wii, I've got my own modded GameCube, like I've got multiple, and like I could, you know, I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that, for instance, and I was going to just to digress a little, there is a place here in Brooklyn called Industry City. Okay. And there are a couple of maker spaces, maker labs in there. And one of them, they have classes and they go through the whole process of basically taking an old Game Boy and completely like, you know, updating it, you know, like lit screen, recharge, like, you know, like lithium batteries, like all that stuff. So it's pretty cool.
I would want to do that too, with like a Game Boy Advanced, right? Like put a bunch of memory into it, update the screen to like OLED or even just LCD, because those screens are like very outdated. Same with the iPod. Like I bought all the material I needed to update my iPod to make it into this super great modern device for about $110. And then most of it was the backing. Like the backing I had to order from Australia, which is really weird and sort of sketchy. But one thing about the old iPods is they don't have Bluetooth, right? And a lot of speakers and even my car requires Bluetooth in order to play music and podcasts and such. So there's this company in Australia that sells the backing that has an updated, I don't know what you would call it, like a headphone jack, I guess. Yeah. And then and then they actually solder in the Bluetooth adapter inside of it, and then they send it to you. And that way, whenever you're modding your iPod, you just use that back and bam, you've got Bluetooth all of a sudden. So
now you just work with them, you order in bulk. All right. And then you have
that part
more because you're spending less and you get more and you have extra to mod other people's.
Yeah. So I'll keep everybody updated as it goes, but I'm very excited, and I'm going to get rid of Apple Music as soon as it happens. And then also, I guess the last thing I'll say about this is that Apple Music and Spotify don't allow FLAC files. Aaron, are you familiar with FLAC? FLAC?
I feel like I've heard of that. Is that a movie file type?
I would imagine that most movies probably use this file type, but it's essentially, think high def music. It's lossless is what it's called. And Apple Music recently just introduced it, but you have to, it takes a ton of space up, and you have to have certain headphones to use it. And what Rockbox does, one of the cool features of Rockbox, is that you can play lossless music. So if you have MP3, it's about 3.5 megabytes per song. Lossless is like 60 megabytes per song. And you get, it's like 4K music. It's just a really, really high quality. And a lot of times when you have a CD, like say you rip a CD onto a computer, it will come as a FLAC file because it's the highest quality that song can be in at that time. Right. So anyway, that's sort of my recent modding route.
That's your journey.
That's my journey I've been going down, and I'm really enjoying it. I love sort of taking things apart and putting them back together, and the modding aspect of it all. It is a lot of like watch a YouTube tutorial kind of thing. I'm not saying that I understand the intricacies of 2004 Apple products, but you know, like you can watch a YouTube video for everything, and repetition is the best educator.
Muscle memory, you know.
Right.
You start that's my biggest thing is I have to repeat things over and over and over again, and once I learn how to do it, then I'm good to go.
Yeah. I recently yesterday I bought a Dermal. Is that what they're called? A Dermal? Yeah,
Dremel?
It's like Dremel, excuse me. A Dremel to like, cuz there's a certain part of the new iFlash that's just slightly too wide to get it in there, but it's thin enough, but it's too wide to get in there. So anyway,
she said,
yeah. Let's quickly go through some things because we're getting near the end of this episode, and I want to get to everything. Aaron, he's currently showing me the Charmander looking. This card has been haunting me. This is a Charmander that's looking. He's got his face pressed up against the window, looking at all his friends.
I fucking love this card.
It's one of the best cards in Pokemon history. Like I see it everywhere, and I always want to do it, but it's so expensive.
I haggled the fuck for this car.
It says 75 on there. What did you end up paying for it?
Oh God, I got it in a bulk deal, man.
Nice.
Probably 40.
Hey, I would do that in a second.
Yeah.
Because I tell Olivia all the time when we're out in public and we see the card, I'm like, I need this card.
So but, I bought these three, which are like the
new set, the new
set, the starters.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh, how much can I haggle you for that one? So I haggled and I heckled.
You're a haggler and you're a heckler.
Yeah.
You're a heck of a heckler. Okay. There are a couple things. We got a Resident Evil trailer from Zach Kreger on.
That looks so good.
On I think it was.
You were doubtful for a while.
No. I don't know. I don't think that that's true because Zach Kreger has. Maybe there was like a second there at the beginning when they first announced it, because the first thing that he said, Zach Kreger, when it was announced that he was doing this new Resident Evil movie through Sony Pictures, is that he is not relying on any lore. To my understanding, we're not even going to meet a character that we've seen before. No Claire, no Leon, no Chris.
I'm so fine because isn't this like it's? Pardon me, I didn't mean to. Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was going to say I'm so fine with that because from what I understand, this movie is happening in parallel to Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, this is going to be happening, I think, on the outskirts of Raccoon City as Leon and Claire are getting into Raccoon City for Resident Evil 2. Which, again, as you said, and I will echo it, I'm totally cool with this. Because Zach Kreger has earned enough goodwill between Weapons and Barbarian and this trailer that I am so unequivocally down for whatever this is going to be.
He's going to be the next Coog.
The next Coog. He's going to be the next, like, this guy, Zach Kreger is one of, I think, along with, like, Ryan Coogler. Well, Ryan Coogler did a great horror film. I don't know if he's one of the leaders in horror necessarily. But, like, you've got, gosh, why am I spacing their names out? You got, like, James Wan. You've got Jordan Peele. You've got, who's another one, Aaron? The guy who did House on Haunted Hill on Netflix.
Ooh.
He's doing some Stephen King stuff. I can't remember it. But anyway, Zach Kreger is, I think, in that category, right? Like, he's definitely earned himself a table.
Mike Flanagan.
Thank you, Mike Flanagan. He has earned himself at the table for horror, modern horror. Ari Aster over with Hereditary. You've got Robert Eggers over with, like, Nosferatu and The Green Knight and so on, the Witch. So anyway, watching this trailer, Aaron, it's interesting. Like, here's the thing: is that, like, if you were to just show me this trailer, and I think we eventually see, like, the Resident Evil sign, like the town sign at one point in the trailer. If you excluded that and the title screen at the end, which I love the fact that they're going with the old school Resident Evil 1 logo. But if you didn't show me any of that, you would have no idea that this is even a Resident Evil film. Like, there's not one mention of anything recognizable outside of that sign and maybe like a zombie dog. That's it. You've already sort of mentioned that you're down for this. We're going to cover this on the show when it comes out, which comes out in October, I want to say. Hopefully the show's back by then.
We need to cover this one.
September 18th.
We need to cover Street Fighter.
Street Fighter looks good. I'm on board now.
Street Fighter looks fucking awesome.
Especially after watching Mortal Kombat 2. We'll talk about it here in just a moment.
That's a slippery slope when we get started with Mortal Kombat 2. But yes, so I think I told you that Street Fighter gives me the same excitement and chills as when I first saw the Scott Pilgrim versus the World trailer, and I am fucking here for it. I am so pumped for it.
Where do you think that comes from? Because I have my answer, but I'm curious. Why do you think you are getting that excited?
I think it's because we're finally in this era where certain movies that are being made about games are realizing that they can go for the swings because we love them so much. And I'm talking, again, more than Super Mario Brothers, the movie, like, kind of going easy. Sonic the Hedgehog is taking some swings, but still very kid-centric. Mm-hmm. This is Street Fighter. We're seeing Mortal Kombat, which is going fucking gory and fun, but we haven't had anything that's been like, besides, again, like Scott Pilgrim, like, this is the natural flow of how we're going to get to where we actually enjoy. Like, this movie feels like we're going to get, at some point, we're going to get, like, a real cool update, like, reboot of Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah. A lot of colors, a lot of, like,
just insanity.
Yeah, it is. And you've pretty much nailed exactly what I was thinking too. Is watching the trailer on the big screen before Mortal Kombat 2, I was like, this just looks like fun. And I remember thinking halfway through Mortal Kombat 2, which we can talk about briefly, I remember thinking, I wish this was more like the trailer for Street Fighter. Like, I want this to be more like
it should have been.
It is fun in certain parts, and I think it does lean in much more, especially compared to the first one. It leans a lot more into the lore and like some of the small silliness and intricacies of Mortal Kombat as a property. But Street Fighter 2, it just looks unembarrassed. Like, it looks silly and kind of stupid in certain parts, but like, I don't want a serious David Dastmalchian as what's his name? I can't remember.
Bison.
M. Bison, thank you. Like, I want him to be over the top and like cartoonish.
I want one thing, and that's the thing. It's like what was it? God, how did I forget his name? Jal.
I know he died like he died like 2 weeks
Julia.
after.
Raul Julia, that's the name. I keep messing up the name. Raul Julia. He crushed it as M. Bison.
Yeah,
he understood, and so I hope. And I love you. You already know how much I love David Dastmalchian. I think he's gonna crush it. I think he's gonna go full fucking weird, which he is so good at, embracing that like outsideness. But besides everything that I'm so excited about, like we're gonna talk way more on a different day about. We should do like a full trailer breakdown as like a special episode or something of the Street Fighter trailer. But I need time to discuss Mortal Kombat 2. Can we do it?
Yes. Can I? Two things. Number one, did you know that Raul Julia died 2 weeks after the movie Street Fighter came out?
Yes. Did you know that Raul Julia did the role because his kids loved Street Fighter?
Yeah, that's why I've heard that one as well. Yeah, that's really cool. And he obviously he's the best part of that movie. He's the best part of the Addams Family, in my opinion, too. But like talk about a guy who was decorated beyond his years in terms of like as a serious actor. And then at the end of his career, he's like, you know what? I'm going to do the Addams Family. I'm going to do Street Fighter. And then like, he's the best part of those things too, which is kind of
exactly. And that's the
incredible.
Crazy thing is he's very, very, oh my God, what is his name? I apologize. I am extremely tired. I've been moving storage units and doing all this shit over the last few days, but I want to say, Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, right, was sick while he was playing, T'Challa. His character, Black Panther, T'Challa. And it's the same thing with Raul. Literally, like you said, he died 2 weeks, after filming finished. I don't even think he got to see the film.
I can't remember exactly what the details are there. Yeah.
But that is somebody who is so dedicated to their craft that they will push through terminal illness to complete a project. And that is, I don't know if that's where you get to that saying where there's a fine line between genius and insanity. But you still, like, either way, you still have to admire and respect it.
Totally.
So, and that's where I'll leave that conversation. Cause rest in peace, both those two like fucking like true dedicated artists,
Yeah. True alters and someone and two folks that like did it to the end. Right. I will say briefly on Mortal Kombat 2, I didn't hate it. I will say that the Liu Kang Kung Lao fight is truly amazing. Like, it is incredible. That's where it ends right there.
Greatest, one of the coolest and most like filled with fan service, like everything from the stage,
the stage
dedication
is the Mortal
/
Kombat
design,
1, right? It's the Mortal Kombat 1 stage, yeah.
Just from that to the moves to the death of Liu Kang, was it
it's Kung Lao is the one who dies.
Kung Lao. Yeah. The death of Kung Lao.
Spinning hat.
was fucking insane. But I gotta go. There's a couple of things, and I think I texted you this. There's a couple of things that really fucking rubbed me the wrong way. Number one.
Do you want to get into it now? Or
yes,
do you want to talk about it more? Okay, all right.
Number one. At the end of Mortal Kombat, fucking whatever the fuck his fucking face is, left to go find. He's like, I'm going to Hollywood, gonna go find something, and he goes to go look for fucking Johnny Cage, and then I guess he just never, because this movie's what, 5 years later, 6 years later.
I think it's 4. It came out in 2021 during right at the tail end of COVID.
Well, I'm saying like, but in the story itself, there's a year, there's a timeline gap, and apparently he went to Hollywood. Maybe he ran out of money and kind of had to give up, I guess. I mean, I don't know why he even had to pay for flights. Fucking Raiden's dumbass could just fucking portal door in there,
portal or whatever.
Like what the fuck. Second thing, I'm going to talk about is the fucking dragon birthmarks. We just fucking negated that whole shit. That was gone.
Those don't matter.
Gone. Literally, Sonya Blade kills Kano. It transfers to her shoulder. No dragon symbol at all, but on anybody in fucking Mortal Kombat 2.
Johnny Cage doesn't have this tattoo either.
He doesn't have it, but he's a fucking hero. Apparently, he's the chosen one. I guess.
Yeah.
What else? Apparently, we could just switch sides mid fucking tournament.
Yeah, Sonya's like, you know what, Dad? I'm gonna fight with the good guys this time because no one saw that coming the entire movie.
After the fight was already done.
Right. Yeah.
Like poof, flame goes out. Fucking game over, dude. Nope. I'm switching sides. Fucking universe has a different fucking. I guess they got a 30-second grace period.
Right.
Dumb shits. Next thing is what's your name? I know not Melina. Is that her mom?
Melina, yeah, the girl who screams.
Yeah, she doesn't use her fucking hair. That was the whole point of her character.
Right. I was expecting that too. I was expecting like her last move to be like a hair whip or something.
A hair, like I'll whip my hair, like fucking nothing. I'll tell you this. Karl Urban, honestly, was the only fucking reason. Karl Urban and Kano were the only two fucking reasons to watch this. Like that's it. Karl Urban and Kano are fucking glorious.
Josh Lawson.
This film.
Josh Lawson, Australia's own. Both Australians are the best part of this movie somehow.
Yeah,
but
so fucking good.
Josh Lawson is, I think, even more so than Karl Urban.
Don't roll it.
He is like full of one-liners. He's the best part of the first one. He's the best part of this one. I just, it's one of this is going to be in the same category as like Sonic and Super Mario Bros. Where like I'll probably go see them when they come out, but I'm never going to be excited about them because I think it's after the second one that I'm like, if you can't figure it out by now, if you're just wanting to be passable and just like yell slogans that we know, then if that's what you're going to be, that's fine. But like, don't expect me to be excited about it.
Scorpion, for instance. Apparently, we're never winning a tournament without Scorpion.
Right. Scorpion and Sub-Zero both show up in the last 30 minutes of this movie to be part of this movie.
I don't remember. This may be a different like sequel to Mortal Kombat. I've never seen a Sub-Zero that had like a shadow form.
Oh, he's a newer character. You're talking about who Sub-Zero comes back as?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a newer character, and I looked it up after the movie, and I'm spacing it right now. But because I thought it was, I thought it was gonna be Smoke in the trailer.
Yeah,
right? But no, it's a different character. It's someone from like
Smoke,
Mortal Kombat 5.
Those robots, like Cyrax and those guys. Those guys were fucking cool. The other thing, that dude, the toxic dude that wore the mask in the first one, I was waiting for him to show up. We get a fucking dollar store fucking Goro. Where the fuck's Goro? I thought he was like, oh, we got to go retrieve something from fucking Earth.
Goro got his ass beat in the first one, right?
Go get Prince Goro, man. Instead, you got this fucking dude wielding, like the hammer guy.
Yeah.
And then you got, oh god, I'm just like, I was so disappointed. And first up, okay. It should have been cheating. Nobody realized this dude was fucking immortal. First off, he's getting his ass kicked and he's getting all worried and crazy and shit, looking like he's dying, and he's immortal. Like he should not be allowed to fight. Like, oh, he's immortal. Like fucking not allowed.
The immortal, that I think of all the many disappointments of this movie, the immortal part of what's his name is, I think, maybe one of the more disappointing because it completely withdraws all stakes from any combat he's in. Like as soon as I saw him show up to that fight against the guy who we wanted to be killed from the first movie, what's his name?
I'm looking it up right now. Cole Young,
who you called, and I think we both were anticipating that Cole Young was going to die in this one because there's no reason for him to be around anymore. As soon as I saw this too, I was like, this is how they get rid of him right here. They're going to put him up against the immortal guy in the toxic pit. From I think it's Mortal Kombat 2 or 3 possibly. Okay, so
the one death that I was like, no fucking way, Jax, man.
Yeah,
Jax. What the fuck?
But if this franchise shows anything, is that no one is truly dead. Like Kung Lao is back,
absolutely,
so like they'll be back in some way down the future if they're popular enough. Two things before we get out of here, Aaron, because I need to. We're about to go see. Excuse me. We're about to go see The Mandalorian Grogu here in about an hour, Olivia and I. So I want to get out of here, but I want to ask you because another big thing dropped. We got Marvel's special presentation, The Punisher: One Last Kill, came out last week, and I just want to get briefly your thoughts on it because I tended to really enjoy it. And I think that it had some pretty glaring issues. I think people are really pointing out the CGI at one point is pretty bad. And I think it's a lot of John Bernthal yelling, which I thought was kind of hilarious. Anytime he does something. Yeah. And then Maguchi, of course, is a sort of a silly villain in this. But point being is that I think a lot of the things that did really well was sort of the stricken nature of Frank and his relationship to not only the Punisher persona, but also the folks that have died along the way. I think a lot of that really worked. I would say like the first 15 minutes of the show, outside of the fact that he's like living in like Big Trouble in Little China or like Last Recall world where like it's just fucking mayhem in Brooklyn, you know, like all the time. That's kind of silly, but like I think a lot of the stuff they got right, they got really right. And I think the action is mostly pretty good. But I want to ask your thoughts because you're obviously, I love the Punisher I think as much as you do, but I think you were really excited for this.
I was really excited, and I had really high, I think I had really low hopes, not knowing what this was going to be, but still, excited to see it. And I was not satisfied. I was left first off, I already have an issue with lack of resolution. And the fact that I know he eventually in some storyline he goes after Maguchi or
Manucci. I think it's
Manucci, whatever the fuck her name is. Like he goes after her and gets her. But like, why not put that? At least give me a post-credit scene of him, of like her chair, like on the sidewalk or something. And
also like if this was Ray Stevens's Punisher, the moment she got up in his face about 3/4 of the way through this special presentation, Ray Stevenson would have just taken a Bowie knife and just cut her head off or something. Like, this version of the Punisher is a lot more lax. John Bernthal's is a lot more lax than previous versions, even more so than I'd say. What's his name? The first Punisher,
Dolph Lundgren.
No, well, yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, but the one from the 2000s who.
Hold on,
His name is it Bruce Banner? No, that's the Hulk.
Eric Bana. Fuck, what is his name? Thomas Jane.
There it is. Yeah. Thank you. Yep. So anyway, continue on though.
Yeah. So there's that. There's the complete, like, I know he got rid of the key, but you're telling me a key lock is going to stop him from getting into a canvas bag with all of his fucking guns and ammunition? Like, right. The guy went in there and he's literally taking guns from, which is one of the questions whenever we see an action scene and somebody who's in the action scene is like running out of ammo. It's like, why not just take theirs? Thank you. He did that. That's what he did the entire time. He's getting his ass handed to him. He's getting stabbed. He's fucking people up. I loved it. But again, to me, it was just like, first off, everybody knows where the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows who Frank Castle, where he is. Everybody he's on the grid. He's the Punisher on the grid. What the fuck are you doing, man? What are you doing? Second, I don't understand the idea of, like, again, this should have been either a show or like a feature length, because you're telling me you're sending every fucking villain that needs money into this building, and he fights. He literally goes like down the stairs, up the stairs. And then that's it. Like, that's the end of the movie. Like, where is the rest of this fucking thing? Where's the rest of it?
Yeah, I think this was an idea because I don't know if you saw, John Bernthal co-wrote this with the director, who I'm spacing.
Yeah, it was like a one-shot. Yeah. It was like a one-shot comic. That's how I'm trying to look at it, as if it was like a one-shot book that was released. Yeah, on, like on the newsstands. Yeah. However, you still need a story with resolution.
I think that this was always just supposed to be, hey, remember John Bernthal? He was the Punisher. He was in Daredevil. Remember that? Here he is 10 minutes before Spider-Man Brand New Day. I genuinely think that, like, this is what this is for, is that, like, when he shows up in Brand New Day and he's back in his Punisher shit, because remember at the end of the TV show and even in Daredevil, he is like, he's like, I'm not really sure if I want to be the Punisher anymore. This is him going, hey, I'm the Punisher again. Remember me? Here's your hat back, old Marine. So, like, that's what this is all about.
That fucking dog, man. That was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Thank you for bringing that up. I totally forgot about it because I just put it out of my brain. I said the first 15 minutes really blew me away. I would say and I've told Olivia this before, and I think this is widely known. Anytime you have to kill a dog in your story, you don't have a very good story.
Yeah.
Like if you need me to be emotionally invested in something because you kill a dog for that reason, and I think this of like John Wick, I think this of any story that you require me to care about your story because you kill a dog, it is lazy and it is boring. Okay. And it is unnecessary most of the time. Like killing a dog is like killing the most pure thing in the world. Of course, we're going to hate whoever does that. Right. Christy Nome, we're looking at you. Point being is that like you have to have more than that for the Punisher. I honestly, actually, I'm taking it back. Before I even finish the sentence, you don't have to kill a dog to make Frank Castle want to kill you. Okay. Yeah. There's much less heinous shit you can do. If he would have just bothered that old vet on the street, Frank would have came up and fucking stabbed him in the spine.
His hat, just leave it at the hat.
Right.
In my opinion, he could have thrown a baby in front of the bus, and I would have been like, I would have been not as like I would have been like, that's not as fucked up, you know, like just switch it out with a baby, you know. But like that's the thing, like unfucking necessary. Like there's so many things in this, and again, I'm riled up over an hour roughly, and I'm just like, I don't feel. Again, I'm trying to think of it in the best context as like a one shot, and then, but again, still, even one shots have resolution. They have meanings and story. Like at the end, he like goes back to the grave site and he finds the key. And he's like, oh, I guess this is my path. You know, like I just feel like there could have been a little bit more thought, summation of the story, and that's really about it. Like I loved his look at the end. That's fine.
Got yourself a little low fade, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, fucking go get Ma Nucci or get, you know, whatever old ass Coochie. Go fucking get that bitch. And like again, I would have seen like shown like a single scene of just like her wheelchair like dangling off the side of like a building or something.
I think she's gonna be back. I think that's part of the reason why she wasn't killed, because like I don't know if you know, but her bodyguard is supposed to be Jason Moore. He plays Curtis Hoyle in the series, or in the one shot. Barracuda is the name. It's another sort of minor Punisher, whatever villain.
Barracuda, is that? No, I'm thinking. Was it Cottonmouth and like the other guy?
Cottonmouth from he was in Luke Cage and
Power Man.
Yeah. Okay, so we've gone way over here. I need to go see Mandalorian Grogu. Yeah. Anything, Aaron, you want to say to the listeners, to the programs, and David, before we get out of
here? Just, you know, as soon as we get back, as soon as we can come back, we'll come back. Again, just everybody keep thinking awesome thoughts for Chris. Keep your prayers going. Keep you know, him and his situation in mind, and then, you know, just again, it just in general, good vibes for everybody. Think positively. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your life. Nothing is too serious. No item, no thing is too serious and too important. And just instead of things, make memories. Go have experiences and enjoy life. You know, because it's just, life is short, man. And you know, it's. And also, if I'm just gonna say this also, fuck Kevin Hart. Just because, you know, that guy spent however much money allowing Netflix to, you know, pay 17 white people to make fun of black people. Fuck that guy.
A lot of things are happening in the world today. A lot of things. Not excited about tomorrow, but I'm excited to be in remission. So again, as everyone is listening to this, hopefully I will be alive still. That's the hope, right? And then also on a better course. So we will promise not to be this long in the next episode, but this is episode 200, so we wanted to try to cover as much things as we could. And everyone who's listening to this on the free feed, come join us on Patreon when we eventually come back. We have paused it currently while the Oblivion Bar is currently paused, but when the show is back, we will bring Patreon back, and then this again will be back behind the paywall. So this is just a kind of a longer taster of what we generally do each week for our patrons and David, because David doesn't like being called a program. So thank you all so much. We appreciate you for listening. And we'll see you next time for episode 201 of The Grid.